When we were young, religious school taught us the many lessons of the Jewish people. These lessons and stories had little meaning in our lives, but as we matured, they started having greater significance. It is now my senior year in high school, and it is now our senior year in high school, and we finally understand the true value behind our Jewish studies thus far. All of the stories and history that we learned as young students have underlying lessons and advice that we can now utilize as adults. For example, the story of Noah's Ark taught us to love and have faith in God, even during times of peril and darkness. Learning about the Holocaust taught us Zachor, which is our duty to remember the past so that such wretched history may never repeat itself. And even though the story of Hanukkah may seem far-fetched, we have learned that God really does present us with miracles in life. Our bar and bat mitzvahs marked the beginning of our adulthood, and our curriculum changed. We started talking about more serious matters and how we could lead Jewish lives and become a contributing member to the Jewish community. While learning these stories and lessons may be extremely important, the most important thing that religious school has taught us and brought us is a close group of people who we can rely on and be ourselves around. Being able to talk about the meaning of life and impact that God has on our lives has formed a very welcoming and open environment at Temple. The stories and lessons we learned as children was the framework of our studies, and our trip to Israel was the climax. We had learned about Israel for years, and we finally got to experience everything firsthand. Our love for Judaism and Israel has really grown over the years, and it has become a big part of who we are today. Congregation Emanu will forever have a special place in my heart, and I will never forget the lessons that I have learned over the years. We've had so many valuable conversations and experiences in this building, and we hope that continues for the rest of our lives.
This past year, we've had the privilege of some truly incredible experiences. We got to explore with both old and new friends what it means to be Jewish. Not Jewish as in attending weekly prayer services, what it means to explore being Jewish to ourselves and our community. In the summer, we got to experience cultures and viewpoints that were completely different than our own while in Poland and Israel. From Haifa to the Gaza Strip, our class learned what it meant to be Jewish in Israel and the challenges our people face every day. We didn't just see the challenges of the Jewish people, but people from different races, nationalities, and religions all living together. It was interesting to listen to viewpoints that we may not always agree with, and to learn to understand how challenging it is to work with people from such different backgrounds. Inside the classroom, our education continued. Our classes taught how to be citizens and leaders in our community through activism, leadership, and the study of Torah. Helfman Religious School has instilled within us the ability to lead and contribute to whatever life leads us to do. With all this talk about what we have done, there is still so much to say about what is to come. I speak before you as a high school senior who graduates in 36 days. After graduation, our class will go to different schools, states, and even nations. In these new communities, there will be people from different backgrounds with different ideas than our own. But the opportunities that Helfman has bestowed upon us has helped us to learn to work with people who are different than ourselves, to question old ideas, to bring up new ideas, and become outstanding citizens in both our old and new communities. As we go off in our own and separate ways, we take our teachings and experiences with us, because no matter what we do, no matter where we go, we will always call Emmanuel home.
As we reflect on our learning as members of the Helfman Religious School, we must also look to the future. We are beginning the next chapter of our lives, but we must remember that our learning as members of the Jewish community is not over. The study of Torah and Jewish values is something that continues throughout our lives. We must make this learning a task with kavah, which means to give it regularity and centrality in our lives. We must continue this as young individuals and as the leaders of tomorrow. We keep in mind the words of the Shema, and you shall speak of them, the words of the Torah, while you sit at home, while you walk on the way, when you go to bed, and when you get up. Take these words to heart. For as we turn the page in our lives, we write our own stories. We realize that sooner than we may want to believe, we will be the leaders of our communities. The task at hand is to instill the values we have been taught over the years of Jewish education in those around us. But as we venture away from our comfortable and familiar community, we need to keep the words and teachings with us. We must further ourselves not only as individuals, but as a people. This may seem like a daunting task for many as we start our lives as adults in society, beginning careers, building new bonds of a relationship, facing hardships, and forming a family of our own. Time always has, and most likely will be, a valuable resource for us as people. But as we continue on our amazing adventure known as life, we must take the time, similar to an author sharpening their pencil, to renew as well as further our Jewish education. And the most important idea to take away from here, in my opinion, again referencing to the Shema, you shall teach them diligently to your children. We are responsible for passing the knowledge, traditions, and values we have learned here at Emmanuel to future generations, and help the Jewish community not only here, but to wherever we may travel, thrive, and grow. Shabbat Shalom.
Do y'all know what the word kvel means? I don't know if we talked about that in class. Kvel is to emit a sense of tremendous pride in the accomplishments of others, those who we feel connected to. And so we are kveling tonight. We are kveling tonight as we celebrate Shabbat and all of the rituals that you've engaged in that have led you to this very moment. We are kveling because we celebrate tonight your being Jewish, a framework for your whole life and how to approach life's challenges, surprises, and joys. We are kveling tonight because we celebrate your personal growth. Whomever you were when you began coming to this place, tiny, or not so much, and you've grown this year in so many ways and now stand ready to go forward to the next step. We are kveling tonight as we celebrate your learning Torah, the narratives of our text, yes, the mitzvot we're commanded to perform, and the way being Jewish influences how you engage with the world and treat others. We're kveling tonight because we celebrate the strength of this community, that you are never alone, that you're a very special class, having a richness of shared experience, a bond that is truly beautiful and powerful, and yours wherever you go forevermore. And we're kveling tonight as we celebrate your commitment, all that it took to get here, that you gave and your parents gave, your time, your treasure, and most of all, sharing the special spark of the divine that resides within each and every one of you. We are so proud to call you Helfman Religious School graduates. We are proud that you are our kids, that your picture is on our wall, an important part of who we are. And as you are always a part of us, we are counting on you to take pieces of this place and our community with you wherever you go. I ask you, the senior graduating class of Helfman Religious School, to please rise so I can bless you with the priestly benediction.
May God's goodness always